Welcome, fourth graders. Good morning. Hope your day's going well. This is your Readworks lesson. You're going to be working on the reading passage Tag I'm It. Click on the readworks.org website link. It'll take you to this page. Then your class code is going to be PJQN4W. And once again, the class code is in the instructions for this assignment, for the activity. You click continue after you enter the class code. You find your name. Please look for your last name. For some reason, when I uploaded your names, it has your last names first. I had some people who were accidentally logging into other people's accounts by accident. Always find your last name. So please make sure that after you find your name, you type in the password 1234 and then you click continue. Then you're going to be working on Tag I'm It. And you're going to be proving your answers with me. Then your follow-up work is going to be to complete Dancing Derek. Oh, I think you can hear Cheddar with his toys, y'all. I'm so sorry. He wants me to play, so he wants me to finish this lesson. Alright, so your lesson with me is going to be Tag I'm It. The follow-up work by yourself. I'm doing with you. I'm going to complete Tag I'm It with you. You have to complete Dancing Derek by yourself. So let's get started. The first thing you're going to do is you're going to make the letters, the passage, the words bigger by clicking on the first button with the T's. Then you're going to click on the paragraph button. So notice how I'm clicking and all the numbers appear next to the paragraphs. There are 31 paragraphs, but they're really short. Some of them are just one sentence. Then you click on your reading tracker, the ABC button. Then if you click the fifth button, you have the split screen and you'll have your 5 questions that go along with the reading passage. When you work on this by yourself, don't forget that you can listen to the passage by clicking on the play button, and you have audio support for the questions as well by clicking on the audio button as well. So let's get started. Follow along with me, highlight with me, and complete this with me. Excuse me, I can't speak today. And you'll make 100 at the end. Definitely watch the video lesson. Tag I'm It. Tuesday, 12:45 recess. The game is tag. The stakes are high. There is no time to waste. Ryan said this to himself under his breath on the edge of the jungle gym where kids played tag. A football fan, Ryan's favorite part of the game was the commentators. Let's click on the word commentators. A person who comments on something. Commentators often appear on radio or television shows to give opinions or explanations of news and events. If you watch a lot of sports, you are pretty familiar with commentators. Their deep, serious voices made football seem like more than a game. They made it dramatic, like a gladiator fight from ancient Rome. Ryan thought gladiators were pretty cool. And right now I just clicked on my reading tracker by clicking on the third button, the ABC, so you can follow along with me, and this is what you should do when you work on this by yourself. When kids on this playground played tag, he pretended to be a commentator. In his deepest possible voice, he took the imagined audience through the ups and downs of the match. Around the corner comes Billy Watkins, he intoned. Billy's having a strong season so far, and those who watch this sport closely think he might be about to step up to a higher level. If he fulfills his promise, his name could stand alongside the greats of the game. Names like Shirley Tompkins and Judy Whitmore, Andy Tobin, and George Francis. As he came around the corner, though, Billy Watkins slipped in the mulch and fell on his face. He rolled back and forth on the ground, whimpering. No one showed sympathy. On the other hand, Ryan said, Billy may disappoint us all. Ryan knew something about disappointment. He had time to play commentator because nobody really wanted him to play tag. He never understood why, but when he joined the game, nobody would chase him. If he did somehow manage to become it, nobody would run, but he didn't try to play. If he just narrated the game, he wouldn't be left out. He was still playing tag, he was just playing it in a different way. We're on paragraph 8. So we're going to pause right there. Based on the first 7 paragraphs, we can tell that this reading passage is fiction because it contains the story elements. We have our characters, we have Ryan, our protagonist, the main character, and we have our setting, which is the playground by the jungle gym, the location, and we have our problem. Sadly, his friends don't let him play tag. When he does, no one goes after him. So the problem that the main character Ryan is facing is that he's not really part of the game and they don't include him. So he became the commentator. So we still have our solution to see what happens at the end, the problem being fixed, and our theme, the lesson that the author wants you to learn from this based on Ryan's actions. And the author's purpose, because this is fiction, is to entertain. The author's reason for writing this is to amuse us and entertain us. And once again, this is fiction because it has the story elements: character, setting, problem, solution, and theme. So let's continue on paragraph 8. "Hey kid," said a voice behind him. A freckle-faced girl with frizzy pigtails named Angela. A newcomer to the game. Ryan thought to himself, a rookie hungry for respect. Why aren't you playing the game?" she barked, interrupting his reverie. "I am playing." "No, you're not. You're just standing over here being weird." "I'm providing commentary for Ryan tried to think of anything to say besides "for the folks at home." He couldn't. For the folks at home. "What folks? Are you on the phone or something? Just leave me alone." "I can't." "Why not?" "Because I'm it. Why aren't you running?" "I'm it, and that means you're supposed to run." Ryan shrugged. She poked him in the stomach. "Fine. Now you're it." Ryan froze. He had not been it for a long time. He didn't know what to do. The rest of the players stopped too and stared at him. If he moved, would they move too? Or would they stand there, waiting for him to quit embarrassing himself and get off the playground? So let's pause and let's click on the word embarrassing, which means to make uncomfortable or ill at ease. Weirdo," shouted Angela. "This isn't freeze tag. Start running." So he ran the only way he knew how, with narration. Heart pounding in his ears, the frightened young commentator springs into action, he muttered. He isn't sure how, he isn't sure why, but he knows one thing. He is going to get that girl with the pigtails. "Quit talking to yourself and run like you mean it," said Angela. He races up the slide and across the footbridge, his target in his sights just a few feet away. The bridge's wooden slats clatter under his feet, sending shockwaves up his spine and into his jaw. Ryan is undaunted. So let's click to see what the word undaunted means, which means not discouraged, not giving up, even though something is difficult or frightening. This will be his hour. He reaches toward his foe, stretches out his fingers, and ow! Ryan's hands clutched air. He fell face forward off the jungle gym, landing where Angela had just been just a moment before. She had slid down the fireman's pole. He had not been so graceful. Dazed and confused, the young competitor tries to get his bearings. He looks up and sees the face of his opponent staring down at him, looking concerned and curious about why Ryan is still talking to himself. "I think you might have broken your brain," Angela said. "Ryan's brain is fine. Angela's the one who needs to worry." "Why?" Ryan leapt to his feet and poked Angela in the stomach. "Because Angela is it." Ryan turned and ran, a happy gladiator, battling at last. All right, fourth graders. So the solution to our story was he was included finally in the game by the character of the little girl Angela. And because of Angela, the solution was he was finally included and he got to play. He wasn't just a commentator. So what do you think the theme was? I think the theme, the lesson that the character Ryan learned at the end that hopefully you can apply to your life would be to not be afraid, to always be yourself, and to not be afraid of disappointments, because I feel like he was afraid to go back and play tag because the one time he didn't have anyone chasing him, so he was afraid. So always make sure that you put yourself out there and that you always try again. So let's look at our 5 questions. Please click the split screen and we're going to answer them together. What game are the kids playing during recess? Is it tag, hopscotch, football, or hide and seek? So we know that the game was tag, but we need to find our proof. So at this time, let's look at paragraph 1. Notice how the number 1 is next to the first paragraph. They're numbered to help us out. So go to paragraph 1 and make sure you click the paragraph button. And we're going to highlight the first line. Tuesday, 12:45, recess. The game is tag. The stakes are high. And let's use orange. And whenever you accidentally click on something that you need not to be highlighted, you would go back and just click on that sentence or that line that's been highlighted. And then if it's already highlighted, you would click the X button and it would unhighlight it. So once again, we are going to use our orange. So just highlight it with your mouse. Then once it's blue, meaning it's highlighted, click on the orange to highlight it in Readworks. Then we're going to click on the button that looks like a little text message. On the note, so that's the note button, we're going to write Q1. Q's representing question. We're just abbreviating. And then 1 meaning question 1. This is our proof for question 1. The game is tag, so what game are the kids playing during recess? Tag. We have our proof. We have the evidence from the reading passage. So 1 was A. Follow along with me. Who is the main character in the story? The protagonist. Was it George, Billy, Angela, or Ryan? We know that the main character was Ryan because that is who is speaking at the beginning of the story. The character of Ryan is a commentator, and he is the one that is taking us on a journey in the fiction story. And we have our proof here. Ryan said to himself under his breath, on the edge of the jungle gym where kids play tag, highlight that with green, then click on the note button and type in Q2. This is our proof for question 2. Then we also have another sentence that proves question 2. A football fan, Ryan's favorite part of the game was the commentators. Once again, highlight it in green, click on the note button, and this is our proof for question 2. His name is appearing a lot, and we know that he is the main character because the problem is related to him, and the solution is related to the main character, Ryan. It's his journey. He's going through some developments. So 2 was D. Read this paragraph from the text, number 3. Ryan knew something about disappointment. He had time to play commentator because nobody really wanted him to play tag. He never understood why, but when he joined the game, nobody would chase him. So that was the problem, remember, 4th graders. If he did somehow manage to become it, nobody would run, but he didn't try to play. If he just narrated the game, he wouldn't be left out. He was still playing tag. He was just playing it in a different way. So he was afraid of being left out. Based on that evidence, meaning this, what conclusion, meaning prediction, inference, can be drawn about Ryan? So basically the question's asking you to make an inference about Ryan based on the paragraph that I highlighted in blue in question 3. And you're great at inferencing. So is it Ryan does not want to play tag with the other kids based on this paragraph? Does he not want to play, or the other kids don't want to play with him? Based on this paragraph, it said that he never understood why, when he joined the game, nobody would chase him. So it's not Ryan who doesn't want to play, so it's not A. B, Ryan would rather play tag than play commentator. It says if he just narrated the game, he wouldn't be left out. He was still playing tag. He was just playing in a different way. He wants to play tag, and he doesn't want to be the commentator, but he doesn't want to be left out, so that's his version of playing in a different way. So maybe it's B. C, Ryan thinks narrating the game of tag is more exciting than playing it. No, he doesn't think that it's more exciting. He just doesn't want to be left out. He wants to be part of it, so that's why he chooses to be the commentator. So it's not C, because the proof is right here. Is it D? Ryan is better at tag than many of the other kids in the game. Based on this evidence, in this paragraph, we don't know if he's better than the other kids. He just wants to play. He wants a chance. So it has to be B. Ryan would rather play tag than play commentator. So what we're going to do is, for our proof, is we're going to go to paragraph 7, and we're going to highlight all of it, because that's where the evidence came from. And we're going to highlight it in purple, because this paragraph in the question is paragraph 7. It was directly taken from the reading passage. So then I want you to click on that paragraph that's in purple, click on the note button, and type in, Q3. That's our proof for question 3. Make sure that you highlight and prove your answers with me, and you add the notes. I can see on my end who's following along with me. Then number 4, how is Angela different from most of the other kids playing tag? A, she's the only girl to have ever played tag. We don't know that for sure. We need to find our evidence from the reading passage. She enjoys running on the playground. She does not leave Ryan out of the game. She does not think Ryan is strange at all. Now, let's look at the story. And this is a story because it's fiction. Look at paragraph 19. Weirdo, shouted Angela. This isn't freeze tag. Start running. D says she does not think that Ryan is strange at all. She called him a weirdo, so she kind of thinks he's a little strange. So this says she does not think, and she said weirdo, so it can't be D, because she does think. And this is saying the opposite. So it's not D. She does not leave Ryan out of the game. Let's go back and look. We're going to look at paragraph 8. Hey kid, said a voice behind him. A freckle-faced girl with frizzy pigtails named Angela, a newcomer to the game, Ryan thought to himself. A rookie hungry for respect. A, why aren't you playing the game? She barked, interrupting. I am playing. No, you're not. You're just standing over here being weird. I'm providing commentary for, Ryan tried to think of anything to say. So right here, this is where Angela includes him. So we're going to highlight paragraph 9 all the way through, so paragraphs 9, 10, and 11 in blue. We don't know that she's the only girl playing. There's no proof or evidence to prove that, so it can't be A. It's either she enjoys running on the playground or she does not leave Ryan out of the game. But based on this evidence right here, why aren't you playing the game? I am playing. No, you're not. Then we're also going to highlight paragraph 17. Because I am it. Why aren't you running? I'm it. And that means you're supposed to run. Ryan shrugged. She poked him in the stomach. Fine, now you're it. She's still wanting him to play. She doesn't give up. She wants to include him. So highlight paragraph 17 in blue. So once again, paragraph 9, 10, 11, and 17 in blue. And then you click on the note button. And that'll be our proof for Q4, question 4. And let's go back and add a note to paragraph 9, Q4, paragraph 10, Q4, and paragraph 11, Q4. And thankfully, when you highlight all these short paragraphs, 9 through 11, and you add the note, it does it for all 3 of them. And you click Save. So we've added our note for question 4, and she does not leave Ryan out of the game. We have our proof that she wants to make him feel included. Now, what is the main idea of the story? Meaning, it has to include our topic, our person, which is Ryan. Then it has to have the most important information about Ryan in one sentence. Is it Ryan is a huge fan of the game of tag but would rather narrate the game than play it? No, we know for a fact because we proved it in the previous answer. We have paragraph 7 highlighted that he's just the commentator because he just wants to be a part of something. Anything. He wants to be included. So it's not A. B. Ryan is a huge fan of football, but he decides to try and play tag instead. We don't know for a fact that he likes football, but that's not what the main story is about. So the main idea has to be what paragraphs 1 all the way through 31 were about. And that's not it. That's not what the story was about. That's just mentioned. In paragraph 2, their deep, serious voices made football seem like more than a game. A football fan, Ryan's favorite part of the game, so that's just a detail. That's not the main idea. Is it C, after being left out of the game for a long time, Ryan becomes a tag commentator? Or is it D, after being left out of the game for a long time, Ryan gets to join a game of tag? Now, it is going to be D, after being left out of the game for a long time, Ryan gets to join the game because of the character of the little girl named Angela. So select D for number 5, and we don't have to have proof for the main idea because that means you would have to highlight the entire story, and we don't have time for that, and that's not necessary. So once again, the main idea is after being left out of the game for a long time, Ryan gets to join the game of tag. That includes the beginning, middle, and end, and we're going to hit submit. If it logs you out, just log back in. I don't know why it does that. Then you select your name to see your grade, and you should have made 100. Password is 1, 2, 3, 4. Go to submitted assignments, see your results, and you got a 100. Now, on the passage, your passage should look like this. I can see who highlighted, so look, we have our proof, and our reading passage looks colorful because we have our evidence to prove all of our answers. And now for your follow-up work, please complete Dancing Derek by yourself, prove your answers, use audio support, use all the cool tools in Readworks. Thanks for watching, 4th graders.